Can you explain how NFT is being used in the business world? I Googled it and could understand its basics idea, but would love to hear from you. It's still, I understand. It's still very confusing for a lot of people. But some of the examples that I shared already are how it's valuable. So there's two ways to think about NFTs. The first is just the art. So it's artwork. Some people are buying just the artwork, right? So if you bought a painting and you hung it on your wall, well, what's that worth? Well, it depends on the value you think it's worth and also what other collectors would potentially pay for it. So there's always some kind of art attached to the project that you're buying. So there's no utility in that, just like there's no utility in art, but you buy it because one, you love it, and two, if it's a collectible, you hope that the art value is going to go up at some point, right? Then it's going to be a good investment for you. But that's part one. You're just buying art. And you think of it just like you would a painting that you have on your wall that you're buying. The second part is there's value in, they're calling it utility. So there's something that you're buying that has value outside of just the art, right? So my first NFT project, the utility was if you bought the NFT, you get the artwork, and I will do one of three things. And I forget what all three of them were, but it was have a call one-on-one with me on my Instagram Live. So get exposure to my audience and ask me questions. So, a live coaching call with me, or I would be a guest on your podcast or show, or I would send you a signed copy of my book, right? So which one do you want? And then you can pick. Whatever has the most value to you, that's what you can have. Right? Put that here. So that's the extra value that's attached to it beyond just the artwork. So it's always one of those two things. So value that's attached to the actual NFT. Like I said, for mine, you get a coaching call with me, or I'm on your podcast. Gary's example of you get to go to his conference that he's running 3 times for 3 years. Gary's other example, the restaurant that he just created, you have to have the NFT to get into the restaurant, right? There's something besides the artwork. So you own the artwork, you get, or you, at least you own the token for the artwork, and then you also get some kind of practical value. Now, maybe you don't care about the practical value, right? I mean, that's, who cares about the restaurant if you don't like that kind of food, right? So the value of the actual utility attached to it will depend on if you actually find that valuable or not. But it's a lot more, that part's a lot more tangible. Like if I'm going to do a conversation or a call with somebody, it's worth an amount already. I wouldn't even do it normally, but I would charge more to do that than the price of the NFT. So there's an established kind of market rate for it, where the art is just the art. Thank you. All right, cool. And we could dive deeper into it. I had to educate myself. I think like everybody else, it's very confusing. The terms are confusing. Non-fungible token doesn't make any sense, right? And it's also really complex to get into. To get your account set up and all of that is complicated. The accounting is complicated. The legal is complicated. There's a lot of complexity to it, but it's also creating it's going to create a massive shift in wealth. So if you do figure it out, you're going to be ahead of all the people who don't think it's going to be a thing, don't understand it, don't want to put in the work to figure it out. You'll end up making a lot of money is going to be made over the next few years, especially in this. So it's a great time to not just dive in and not understand what you're doing, but to educate yourself so that you can understand what is actually happening. I mean, my 13-year-old nephew is asking me about NFTs. My 12-year-old son wants to set up his own NFTs. I love it. Yes, please, let's dive deep into it. Well, okay, so what else do you not understand or do you want to dive into? And we'll go step by step. I'll go sleep. Can anyone in the world invest in NFTs? Yeah, you just need to have, I mean, that's one of the biggest advantages is that it's decentralized. So it's not the government telling you what you can and can't do. So that's why a lot of people are getting into it. You just need to have an account and then you're good to go. Which is a little bit frustrating to set up, but apart from that, you're good to go.